Hi guys, I have to look over here at my computer. Keto for Real Life people. Yay! Today is Thursday and we are doing soup and crackers. I'm really excited about today's recipe. I was just reading comments when I noticed the time because there were already some pre-show comments, and the general consensus is that everybody's got good soup recipes, but they don't have a good cracker recipe. And I think that's funny because I was racking my brain all week long. I was like, geez, what soup do I come up with? Do I need to create a new recipe? Well, I don't know what, blah, 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 blah. It was driving me nuts. It was literally driving me nuts. And then it just dawned on me yesterday, do what you want. It doesn't, do what you want to eat. It's not about the soup. It's about the crackers. So I thought, well, I could just come on here and just make some crackers for you, but why not make some soup? Why not make some crackers? Why not pair them together? Why not hang out in the kitchen while we're doing this, right? And just have a meal all together. Now, today I decided to make my potato soup. And I have the recipe, y'all. It's listed on my website, ketoforreallifepeople.com. But I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. It's one of those things I make before keto. I made potato soup all the time, and I don't know that I did it exactly the same way every single time. I had the basics down, but just depending on what I had on hand, depending on what I felt like making it, it depended on the recipe and how it turned out. So my kids grew up with, like this tastes different, but it all tastes good. And I kind of am the same way with the potato soup. My husband asked me today, he's all, I thought you couldn't have potatoes. I said, baby, potato soup. He's all, what is that? And I told him, he's like, I don't think I've ever heard that word. I said, it's the perfect word, especially for this soup recipe, because, we're replacing the potatoes with the imposter, the wonderful, beautiful cauliflower. And if it's done right, and it's so easy, guys, you get the best, yummiest cream of cauliflower soup. But it tastes just like potato soup. So let's talk ingredients. We'll start with the crackers. Now, regarding the crackers, I'm giving you guys my basic first run cracker recipe because it is so easy. It is so simple. The other one is too, but I didn't want to mess with it too much. This is my first success. They're delicious. And then at some other point, we can do an expanded version, if you will, of the crackers, because this one is just simple ingredients. It's some lupine flour, ground flax seed, chia seed, salt, and water. That's it. And then whatever flavor you want to top it with, that's all there is to it. And one other ingredient, sorry, soy lecithin. Or I tried to tell myself not to say that. Sunflower lecithin. Lecithin. I might not be able to pronounce this stuff, but I think I do pretty good using it. So let's talk about this ingredient really quick. This is the sunflower lecithin, okay? I think I said that right. I've shared it with you guys earlier this week. I did share a link in the description box below. I can share a link with you guys for some sunflower lecithin. Now, I want to tell you really quick. The link itself, I found the liquid, which I'm going to invest in, okay? I recommend if you could buy it in the liquid form, do it, because I didn't realize in the powdered form you have to mix it with water and you have to let it set a little bit. It's a little more trickier to work with. So if I had known that, I would have ordered the liquid prior. I just thought I was just an option, and I'm used to using powders. So that being said, the brand that I linked for you guys is by Now brand, which is a wonderful brand that I fully trust. I use that, for a lot of supplements. You can use sunflower lecithin, you guys, lecithin, as an ingredient for baking. You can make gummies. It's really wonderful in cooking. Think of it this way. Think of oil and water. They don't mix, right? But if you put this little beautiful baby sunflower lecithin in there, it blends them together and makes them one. It just marries them and they don't break apart. You don't have to constantly shake. It makes that creamy blend between the oil and the water. When you're using it in baking, it smooths things out. It brings them together better, and you get a real texture that you prefer. It's delicious. Okay. The other thing about this, guys, it really does have wonderful health benefits. Women use this, say they're having trouble with swollen mammary glands and they're having trouble breastfeeding. Sunflower lecithin, good God, I'm just going to say lecithin, okay, helps reduce that. It is good for your skin. You can put this in a carrier like a cream, a lotion, almond oil, coconut oil. You can use this and rub it all over your face. It will soften it right up. So it's a great ingredient. It has multiple uses, sort of like coconut oil does. I mean, it has multiple health benefits, multiple uses, cooking, baking, crafting, health and beauty. It's just all of it. So we're going to use it now. I will say this, if you want to make your crackers today and you don't have this, you can still make them, okay? You can still make them, but this does take the texture to a different level. I made my first batch of crackers without this, and I was still pleased, really pleased. But when I did buy this and add it to it, boy howdy, then I was over the top and over the moon. So make the crackers without it if you don't have it, but do try to get some of this stuff and do try it in your baking and cooking. You're gonna love it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've got my oven preheated to 325 degrees. These crackers do really better at a lower temperature and they don't have to stay in there forever. It's only about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. So what I thought I would do is get the crackers going, get them in the oven, and while those are baking, we'll make some soup, and then we'll pull them out, and these crackers are ready to eat when they come out of the oven. How awesome is that? So, alrighty, I see y'all are popping in here. I'm not looking at the monitor right now because, well, I can't see it. That's all there is to it. So give me just one little secundo here, and we're going to get right to it. Okay, guys, so this is just the way I'm measuring for preciseness. I've got the ground flaxseed, okay? I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup of the ground flaxseed. You could use the lighter, you can use the darker, just kind of in there. There's a 1/2 cup, and this just makes it fast for me. I was trying to eliminate a dish that I don't have to clean up. 3/4 of a cup of that. And to it, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the chia seed. The flaxseed and chia seed work together. I mean, guys, these are super high fiber crackers, by the way. Super high fiber, so be careful. Let me set that there. Next is the lupine flour, and we're going to go 1/4 cup. On a follow-up recipe, I did a 1/2 cup, and I'm going to share that cracker recipe with you guys at a different time. So let me put that there. There's that 1/4 cup of the lupine flour. I'm like, I don't know what I did with my lids, but I know I better set those on the edge of the thing there. Now then, look how easy that was, right? Now at this point, you add some salt. I will tell you, here's a little tip for you. If you're going to use like a flavoring or a seasoning that has salt in it, skip this part. But if it's an unsalted seasoning, then go ahead and do this. So I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of the pink Himalayan salt. If you're using a finer grade, this is kind of coarse, so it's a 1/2 teaspoon. So if you're using a finer salt, probably go with a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, you just give this a little bit of a stir to blend it. Just like that. Kind of blend it. And the other recipe that I did, it calls for a little bit of baking soda and a little oil. So it's more like a soda cracker. This one is more of an artisan, kind of organic style cracker. It's darker. Today I thought for a seasoning that I would go ahead and try this salt-free. I got it at Walmart. It's a salt-free vegetable seasoning, sort of like Mrs. Dash. You know, there's no salt in it. But I thought, I'll add a little of that because that'll give it some flavor. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this to it. So here's the point where you decide. You could add garlic powder or onion powder, or I used everything bagel seasoning. I put it straight in there and I topped it. You could top them with, I've got sesame seeds. I've even got like masala flavor. So if you wanted an Indian flair to it, just whatever. And now we're just gonna half a cup. Ooh, sunflower lecithin. This stuff is sticky powder. It's kind of gummy, y'all. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon. A little dab goes a long way. I was reading about this, and it says rule of thumb is, here's a 1/4 teaspoon. And to that, I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of the water right out of my cracker recipe. Here we go. Oh, that dog has decided to bark now. Isn't that the way of it? Isn't that the way of it, y'all? So I'm just using my fingers because I'm breaking these little balls of powder up. It's kind of, it doesn't want to just powder out. It's kind of gummy. And when you put it like this, you can feel sort of viscous, like slippery a little bit, you know? It doesn't leave a slippery texture in your cracker, though. You just kind of get it going there, and it's all blended. But it's going to make your cracker so lovely. Let me rinse this out. Right now, I'd like to go out there and holler at my dog. It's actually my daughter's dog, the one doing the yelling and the yiping. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to do that so that it goes in there and get that water in there. And just give it a good stir. And you want to make sure that you let it stir really good because you're going to form a dough. You could double this recipe, y'all. You can triple it. I mean, you could make as much as you want. Another wonderful benefit of the lecithin, I'm getting better at that, y'all, is it kind of is a natural preservative as well. So in the past, anytime I've made anything, you know, after a day or two, it either has to be kept refrigerated so it doesn't go bad or mold or get stale. But I made my crackers. I made 2 batches with the lecithin in it and kept them in a Ziploc bag for a week. So they stored really well. They tasted fine. See, and we got this little ball of dough. It's about the size of a softball, I guess. It comes together really quickly. All right. Now, when it comes to rolling and stuff, I've got some parchment paper here that I'm going to use to roll out my dough. And you want it thin. Somebody said, well, how thin can you get it? Well, if you get it too thin, it's going to break to pieces and crumble. You do want it very, very thin, okay? You want it so that, you know, you get that crunch, cracker-like texture. So think cracker. Think about an eighth of an inch thick. Set this up here. Clear this spot out right there. Piece of the dough. That dog, I tell you what, he's such a wine baby. He's such a, well, we call him a tit bag, but it's been a heck of a day for me, y'all. I tell you what, it's been super busy, super busy. Hit the ground running. My eyes popped open straight up and down, 7 a.m. All right, so we're going to take a piece of parchment paper. And you're just going to put your dough right on top of it, just like that. You can move this out of the way. Now, you can pat it with your hands if you want, but I like to take the dough and kind of get it flattened out. And I recommend, if you're going to do an artisan style, like you could just make this one big cracker and break it into rustic style pieces, or you can roll it and measure it and cut it. You could make it circles, squares, rectangles, whatever shape you want. This is quite, it's holding together, but it kind of breaks a little bit. So over the top with it. Let me get my arm going because my arm doesn't like to work these days. and just start rolling it out. And I just like to turn the wax paper or the parchment paper and just start going at it. This is where you get your frustrations out. I'm kind of in the middle trying to push out because it's a very stiff dough, okay? That would be the word, stiff. And again, I'm talking very high fiber, y'all. So start out with just a handful. I know they're going to be delicious. I know you're going to want to eat them all. But eat some and then wait. I did eat a whole batch of these in one day. I will admit that. So I feel around the edges here. My other batch, the other recipe that I've got put together with a little few added the more soda cracker style. It spreads out just a little bit more, but it has a little more lupine flour. It has some oil in it, so it goes a little thinner. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm always curious as to what shape it was. Last week when I was making crackers, my first batch turned out and it looked like a big old cowboy with a cowboy hat and everything else. So we don't need this top piece now. You can actually just slide this onto the pan, however you want to make it fit, just like that. And at this point, you can decide to cut or not to cut. And you can, here, hold on just 1 second. I forgot, this is the one thing I forgot. I just bought this. I had to get a new ruler. You can use a ruler, you know, and you can use it to measure and cut. Look at this. I think this is just a simple trick here. Lay it, pop it up, and just, you know, slide it back and forth. And if it's not perfect, it's all right. It doesn't have to be perfect. They are just going to go in your belly. Get in my belly. I think it's just an easy way. I got this little, it's just a little clear ruler I got for $1 or something at Walmart. So you could do it that way. And now you could come back, just lay those over there, and do it this direction. Now I can tell that it's a little thicker here, a little thinner here. It's okay. You could take, when it comes out of the oven, you can take the crunchy ones out. And if you need to leave these in for a minute more, you can. Or you can just make sure you're doing it faster. But I'm trying to save time here today too. So I'm just doing it this way. And even if these don't completely cut, they will finish breaking apart like a perforation. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. There we go. They're just little crackers now. And I can see right here where I have a thickness issue. So I'm going to squish it out a little bit. Especially on this one where it's thin on one side. If it's thick, if it's evenly thick, it's fine. It don't matter. I'm just going to pop it in the oven. And I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. That should do it. And again, that oven is set at 325. It allows them to just dry out and bake. And they don't cook too fast. Get the dough off my fingers. Now we get to do the soup. The soup. It's going to be so yummy. Here, let me take a minute. Let me see what we got going on here. I'll move you guys so that I can stay in your line of view, and I'll take and see what's going on here. And say hello, how are you? All right, Mouseketeers. Okay, 9 comments. All right, Tony, hello, darling, hello. Tony, I'm so sorry you're going through that. Grammy, or is it Grammy D? She loves making my chicken enchilada soup. I made some last week. It was so good. Been waiting for this. Soup and crackers. Lorraine, we are supposed to have bad storms coming in this evening, just what we needed here in Texas. That's what I was looking at. I actually was supposed to be here by this morning, early afternoon. It's holding off. But that's what I'm thinking. That temperature dropped. It was like the last 2 days, mid 70s, almost 80 degrees. It was 81 degrees in my house. But today, you know, it was like 40 something degrees and we're putting on sweaters again. So soup day for sure. Watching on my TV and making comments on my phone. Linda, look at you. Jenna says, we need soup and crackers here in Denton, Texas. Last week, oh, we needed them last week. Well, I got bored, you know, in the storm, and that's when I worked on the crackers. They'll be here for the next go around, hopefully. We won't have it. Let's see, how much water? Nancy, it was a half a cup of water. How much would you be in the amount of, I would still use about a quarter teaspoon. Here's a rule of thumb that I did learn. It says in baking, because I wanted to research how to bake with it. And it says use, you know, start out with a quarter to a half a teaspoon. If it tastes a little slimy, like if it's got that smooth kind of smoothness on your tongue when you taste it, you've probably used too much, so back it down. I'm doing quarter teaspoon. And the way when you look it up, you guys, when you look up how to use it, it doesn't say use a half a teaspoon for this or a quarter teaspoon. It's like use 0.05% by weight, by volume, depending on liquid and if you're using powder, then you have to multiply it by 0.63%. And I'm like, holy hell. I just want to simplify things. I just want to find out how much I need to put in this recipe. That way I can share that with you guys. I'll do the figuring out. So anyways, tip there. Let's see. What would be the amount if you use the, okay, we did that. Nancy goes live and I get 3 phone calls in a row. We'll have to rewatch when we're done. Let's see. Haven't watched you in a while. Fell off keto and getting back into it. You look great. Well, thank you. We all fell off. A lot of us fell off, let's put it that way. And I've been keto nonstop without a break since the 1st of January. It feels good. It feels good, y'all. Hi, Stella. Let's see. Portuguese cat. Made it for the live. Love that cutting board. I've had this cutting board over 20 years. And it's worth a couple of $100. I think they're cheaper now than they used to be, but it is a solid hard maple cutting board, and it is invaluable when it comes to cutting. And I just leave it on here all the time. Keeps my counters from getting cut on. Looks good. I never tried making my own crackers. Can't wait to try these. All right, so we're caught up. Let me move you guys back, and let's start on the soup. We are caught up. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. I got a surprise in the mail. There's a company called Lupine that makes a metabolizer. Like you breathe into it. I don't know. I haven't even opened the box. We're going to do a live probably tomorrow. And we still have to do another one on gums and stuff. But I'm excited about this. My metabolism needs all the help it can get. So I'll show it to you real quick. I have not opened it. I have not. But look at this. This came in the mail today. It's called Lupine. And supposedly it knows how to make you lose weight. And I want, depending on what your lifestyle is. So it'll work with keto. Okay, let's put that away and let's get started. All right, for this potato soup, as I said, you guys, I do this differently all the time. It is never the same twice. So if you can just get the basics down, you'll be fine. Oops. Let me turn this down here. I'm about 250 degrees. I normally use a little bit bigger pot, but I'm just going to work with this today. I think it'll be all right. Besides, I think you could see this better. So I start off with butter and onion. No matter what, it's always butter and onion. And I took a whole head of cauliflower, you guys. I want you to see that. This head of cauliflower was clear up to here. And when it cooked in the microwave without water, guys, it reduces by 50%. And there's not a lot of like water in here. It just kind of cooks out. I think it was Deanne Williams that asked me how to do it without it being soggy. Do not add water to your cauliflower when you're cooking it, or you end up with, oh, I just threw cauliflower in my hair. You end up with grainy, soggy cauliflower. It has enough water on its own that it can cook by itself. So I've got this big chunk of butter that my daughter brought over. I guess I should have got it out before I started this process. I'll just cut some out. I do have a piece of cauliflower. Oh, it's on my shirt. I had cauliflower trying to attack me, y'all. Let's see if I can chunk this out real quick. That makes it easier. Let's put that back in there. So that's about a half a stick of butter. Maybe a little more, maybe a little titch right on there, but close enough. About a half a stick of butter. Use more butter if you like. It's totally up to you. Get it melting in your pot. I wish you guys could get in on this, like overhead. And we're going to add onions. Now, again, it's up to you. Some people get all freaked out and say, well, onions have a lot of carbs. I use onions. I have used onions from the get-go. Now, this is probably about almost a cup, maybe 2/3 of a cup. But it's going to go across quite a few servings. So you probably eat this 4 or 5 times. So this amount of onion, you can divide it over 5, and then you'll get a better count, okay? So I'm just going to pop these in here. And you just want to get them so that they start softening. Get my add-ins here. A little salt, always a little salt on your onions. It makes them sweat better, brings out the moisture in them. Now, like I said, there's so many different ways I've done this soup, you guys. I have done this soup. Shoot, I forgot to set my timer. I'm going to set it. We'll let it go. It's probably been 5 minutes. You can run this through your food processor and just add heavy cream or your blender. You can make this hot blender method, use hot cream in it. It just depends on what I'm in the mood to clean up in my kitchen. It just depends on what kind of mess I want to make or don't want to make that I want to clean up. So these are already sweating beautifully, beautifully. Now, I don't like to use water. You can, but if you want this to be creamy, if you want this to fool your children, your grandchildren, or your husband, just put your cauliflower down in here. I'm going to use chicken broth. I don't use water. This is just plain old Walmart. I'm probably going to go with about 3 to 4 cups of this. This is your soup base. So when you look at it, think, okay, do about 3 parts of broth to 1 part heavy cream. So I've got about a cup of heavy cream here. Splash, splash. Now I have a half a pot of liquid. And to it, I'm going to add some pepper. I like a lot of pepper. Do you, boo? I don't care. A little more salt. Isn't that simple? You're like, wow, that's how you make it? That's how you make it. Sometimes my all-time favorite potato soup is when I had the opportunity to make broth from a ham bone. That broth makes the best darn soup ever. So I'm going to get this getting hot, and I've already cooked this. I just broke it into florets. I popped it in the microwave. It was a jumbo head of cauliflower from Sam's Club. I cooked it for 15 minutes on high in the microwave, pulled it out, and let it sit there and cool down while I was talking to you guys and making crackers. So this is going to go into that pot when it's hot. You can use an immersion blender, like I said, or I could put it in my blender and get this wort down, make it a puree, and then just stir it into this mixture. It's up to you. If you don't get it smooth, you might have some graininess to it. You might have it more like a rice. So you just want to make sure it's super smooth. I'm sitting here debating back and forth going, how do I make sure I got this really, really smooth? And I'm just, it's hot down there at the bottom. I'm going to kind of break this into some smaller pieces. That way when I use my immersion blender, it blends better. And you can leave a few of these. I like to leave a few chunky pieces, about that big right there. It's like little bites, a few of them. I don't make sure that they're perfect because, potato soup to me, I like it. I like to have a few little bites of potato. But totally up to you. Ooh, that's hot down there at the bottom. Hot tamales. Woo. I'm trying to bring up the bigger pieces from the bottom to the top so they'll cool down a little bit. Ooh, hot. There we go. That's just me. Again, like I said, I'm weird. I do something different every time. I'll turn that up just a titch. Get it hot. Yeah, you have to be careful, y'all. You have to be careful when you're using a blender in hot liquid. I do not want anybody burning themselves. That would be super terrible. Terrible, I'll tell you. This is my immersion blender. It's older than dirt. I bought it when I lived on a dirt hill. But it still works. I paid $3 for it brand new in the box. The guy had a whole load of them fall off his truck. You know what I mean? And I bought them. Hello, daughters. How are you? Yeah, I bet. Careful for the live wire right there. Okay, daughters, getting ready to come in. Mwah, I love you. You just needed lovin's? Yep. All righty then. All right, so I'm going to see how quickly this is getting warmed up. And I'm going to start putting this in here, which is going to bring this soup up quite a bit by volume, y'all. So now, you can also add things that I've added to this. I've added diced green chili, fresh. I have fresh roasted diced green chili right now in my freezer, or in my refrigerator. I shouldn't say it's diced, but it's fresh roasted that I froze and put up. And I've made it with the southwestern flair. Me and that cauliflower. Now look at what we're talking about here. Now we're at quite a full pot here. I've added a little bit of liquid smoke when I don't have a ham broth or a bone broth. Another thing, which I'm not going to add yet, is bacon. You can cook your bacon. You can use some bacon fat and butter, half and half. So good. But I'm just gonna do this until I get it where I want it. Oh shoot. I do not want it on me. That's one place I do not want it. Now I'm going to test it and get the extra cauliflowers off. Right there. Let me get a spoon. And as you can see, it is, I can still see some graininess to it, but let me taste it. It needs to be a little smoother in my book, but it also needs a little extra salt. So I'm going to add some. And a little pepper. Now, here's the thing, too. You don't have to, you can add cheese to this if you want to thicken it a little bit more. You could add cream cheese for a sour cream texture if you wanted to. So that's another option. I've done that before. You can leave these little bits in here, and you can use a gum, which we are going to be doing a video shortly on gums. So good. To this, guys, I'm just going to leave it. It's good. It's so good. Now I'm going to use almost all this bacon. I've got a whole bunch of crumbled bacon, probably because I like a loaded potato. So I'm going to use almost all of it, like that. And I'm just going to leave a little bit for garnish on top. But about a half cup. Do you. And to that, I'm going to give a stir. So I'm going to let the bacon get in there. That's going to give it some smokiness, a little extra saltiness, a little bit of meatiness. Not necessary, but I love it when it's in there. And the other thing I like to do is chopped parsley. I've probably got about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley. You can use dried. You don't have to use it, but I think it does brighten it up a little bit. You put it there towards the end. Just give it a go around there. Again, I like to leave just a titch for my prettiness on top. Believe it or not, when I eat, I like to make a pretty bowl before I eat it. Not just for videos and not just for a picture, but you know, you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. You smell things, you visualize it, you hear the sizzle. I'm a true food junkie, I guess. I am. Oh, yes. I'm going to cut this down because it's coming up hot fast. It's coming in hot. I'm going to give this a taste again. Adjust any seasonings. Some people like to add cheese. You could add white cheddar cheese to this shredded just to keep that white going, and it'll be a great thickener. Plus, it'll make like a cheesy potato soup. Oh, the bacon just went bam, baby. Yes. Go even lower, yes. I just want this to simmer. You don't have to let this cook forever afterwards. It tastes bueno. I think it needs a little more black pepper, but I can do that when I add it. I like to put my soup in the bowl and then sprinkle a little black pepper too, because I like the fresh black pepper taste that's added to it. Y'all. So tasty. And this is going to be my dinner. Like I said, I've been running all day. I've had to take my daughter's cat to the vet, have it there before 9, run to one grocery store, come back, run to the next one, get the stuff from the pharmacy, get what I needed for today's live, take care of the big dogs. I'm typing the recipe out furiously for you guys on my website and get myself ready. And this is as good as it gets. I'm just going to turn that off because we're good for go. And we are at, it says 20 minutes, but about 15 minutes. So there we go. I can clean this. I can clean it up. And we'll just get ready. I love the crackers too. When they come out, I just take and slide the pan. I take the parchment paper, slide the crackers right off onto the cutting board. That's make it a ladle, you guys. This is just lovely. Like I said, it turns out different every time. I'll take this off here. Put it in the sink as well. Man, it drives me nuts. I try to be a neat cook, and I for the most part, I'm pretty good too. But there are times, especially when I'm doing a live, it just gets away from me. So, all right, I think we're good enough for there that I can just pull this laptop up and just kind of hang out with you for a little bit. Drink my bubbly. I thought it would take longer to make the soup, honestly. Yes, it is going to be awesome. Can you use frozen cauliflower? Yes, you can. I have before. Cook it though. Cook it before you use it. I think that's my #1 tip for cauliflower, you guys. As a matter of fact, I just opened up. I've kept it private since September, but I did a master class for cauliflower. It's all things cauliflower. Techniques on everything. So if you want to check it out, please feel free to do so. But when you're using cauliflower, whether it's frozen rice cauliflower or just the florets, cook it and drain it. And you'll notice, because they flash freeze it, there's a lot of liquid in it. You want to drain every bit of that liquid off. If you're working with fresh cauliflower, you're not going to have that near the liquid. Like I said, I was asked the other day if I would show how to make rice cauliflower that isn't all wet and soggy. And basically all you're doing is shredding it and then cooking it in the microwave, and you're not adding any liquid to it. If there is any liquid left in it, you can just put it in a cheesecloth, and I use those hot gloves, and or you can let it cool down, but you want to twist it and squeeze it until you get every bit of moisture out. I mean, it takes a little bit more time, but for the most part, that's what I do. I pre-cook it before I cook it. It's my tip. I barbecue missed it. What is in the soup? Joanna, it is a potato soup. It's just a cauliflower soup that's got onion and... Yeah, that's what it is, baby. Is that what you make it for? That's what I just made, yeah. You're ready for a good work? It's already done. Woohoo! Yeah, it's already done. So, anywho, it is... Where was I at? I was like, soup's going to be awesome. Good to know. I was saying something and then, woohoo, got sidetracked, squirrel. Love soup. Thank you, Beyond, for the cracker recipes. Yes. Let's see. Love soup. Can you use dehydrated onion? Yes, you can. You can just allow time for it to soften up. That's the only thing there. Let's see. SQ says, I did so good last year, lost 57 pounds, but struggling so much right now. Any tips? Keep me motivated. Girl, I think what keeps a lot of people motivated is the fact, you've got one half that says, look at the wonderful keto food you can eat, and you don't have to limit yourself. There is the beauty of keto. You can just eat what you want. And I always, 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 always tell everybody, when you get back onto keto, don't think about weight loss. Just think about getting fat adapted. Strive towards becoming fat adapted again. So eat those fatty foods. Eat those delicious. Eat until your stuff so that you don't want to eat anything off plan. Because if you give yourself your best 3 weeks, your brain kicks in and starts using ketones. All of a sudden, the cravings are gone. You're less tempted to go off plan and cheat yourself. So stick with the high fats. Do a complete restart. Don't worry about fasting. Don't worry about doing anything. It's just keep it keto. That is my motto this year. Just keep it keto. That is my mantra this year. Looks good. Southwestern, Mary said, looks good. Okay, Southwestern Wisconsin. I've never tried making my own crackers. I can't wait to try these. They are part of, they're just so easy. Easy. Oh, no, these do not need to be docked. They don't. They're just a nice flat cracker that do not need to be docked. If we had put in any type of leavening in it, baking powder or baking soda, then yes, we would dock because we wouldn't want it to puff and fill with air. But these right here are just water and seeds, basically. And so it's going to just harden, and they're so delicious. Oh, you know what I forgot to do was top them. Gosh, diggity dangity darn, diggity dang it. That's what I forgot to do. I'm making crackers and I forget to put the toppings on. I put the seasoning in it, but I didn't put them on it. So, shoot. Well, you know what I'm going to do while we're sitting here waiting. It shows 14, which makes it about 10. I'm going to get a ladle out. I'm waiting on. I'm going to get a ladle. I feel like there's something on me. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes. And do this. I like to use these size bowls, y'all. This set of dishes came with these bowls. Okay, they're the same brand. But look at the size of this. I mean, it's like a hat. I could serve a family of 4 vegetables in this. These were the little companion, I guess they call them. To me, this is great. This holds at least a cup. This is like 2.5 to 3 cups worth of food. On keto, it's not about quantity as much as it is about that. Y'all watch me adjust my wig because it's bothering me. Hold on. I'm trying to get used to wearing these darn things. Like, pause for a wig break. It's hot in here with this on, by the way. Let's see if make sure I did that all right. Yeah, it works. I feel like it's squidging up off to the top. I didn't pin it. I just stuck it on there. So, yeah, see, that's, I guess these are a little, but they're just right for me because I like to put them on there. And then I like to just, you know, do a little cheese, just a little cheese. Then I like to do a little bacon, just a little around the edges, cheek, cheek. Then I like to do a little green onion or chive. You could take the tops of the greens and mince them finely, or you can do chives, but it's really cheaper to do green onion. You get the flavor. And you can even brighten it with just a little bit of parsley. And see, when I do this picture, I've got this one perfect little parsley leaf that I'm just gonna let lay in there. Just like that. Just like that. It'll be good. And guys, how many wonderful soups have we had? And we're like, oh, this is so good. Crackers would be lovely. Crackers would be great. And now I'm fixing, now I just can't get this green off here. Fixing to put crackers on the side. I had tuna and crackers the other night. It was so good. That's what I had for dinner. I swear to God. It was like, no, I don't want anything. I'll just have this little bit of tuna and crackers. The crackers are so high fiber. I probably had about, I know it wasn't even a cup. Just a little over a half a cup of tuna salad with mayonnaise and pickles and a little bit of mustard. Those crackers on the side. And I also did some little American cheese slices. I love American cheese and tuna. And I know there are cheese snobs out there who say, American cheese isn't real cheese and there's carbs in it. There's 1 carb per slice. There's 1 carb per, with the cheddar cheese per ounce. So for me, I'm like, I'm going to eat it. And I put a little bitty squares. I made them into little squares. And did it. Oh, God, y'all. It was so absolutely wonderful. Just wonderful. I'm going to set this over here to the side. I want to check on my crackers. I want to check on them. Yeah, I've got to go in there and finish putting this recipe on the website, which I'm almost done. I'm a few clicks away from having it up there. Look, I got a couple here. The outer edges. I'm gonna pull these outer edges off, you guys. I'm standing here putting my back to you. How rude of me. Woo! See where these little thin ones, this is what I was talking about. Like if you get it a little thinner on the edges and it's a little thicker, see right here? I can tell it needs a little bit, but not much. There, I'm gonna pull those out and put this back in. Let it finish out on the timer. You'll keep these little guys from burning. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? This is straight out of the oven, you guys. Oh, I wish I had remembered to put some salt on them or some seasoning of some sort. All right, now we've got some soup, and this is more like a serving. This is for me, this is about a serving of crackers, you guys. These, these little bits and pieces, you can use them like a crouton. And I'm going to take them and break them into little bitty pieces. Because, yeah, they're like that. You can top salads with it, do whatever. And I can just do that. And then once they cool down completely, they are crunchy, crunchy. You can get just the teeniest little bit of softness. Even without me putting the topping on these, you guys, there's just enough salt in these. I can taste the vegetable flavor. I used to love the garden vegetable crackers. So good. Let me show you guys. Oh, I just see here. So good. No comments. Here we go. No, I know there's a lot of people who are not cauliflower fans. Let me tell you, my husband came in from work. He was on the road. I had made a big pot of this. He was eating it, and he's like, this is some of the best potato soup that you've made. I said, There's no potatoes. He was shocked. Like, there's no potatoes. You have to have a smooth, creamy consistency, because if you get those little granulars, potatoes don't do that. So you just want to make sure texturally it's right and follow these steps. Watch the master class. I'm going to see if I can't make that trail this somehow. But anyway, and then our neighbors came across the street and they're like, she's like, my daughter is obsessed with mashed potatoes. Like, she just eats them every single day. I wish she could have a different alternative, you know. So she tasted, I had made my potatoes, my mashed potatoes. You can't tell. You really cannot tell. If it's done right, you'll just swear you're eating potatoes. So anyways, guys, these are, as they're cooling down, crisping up. I mean, let me see if I can drop them on the plate, make noise. Do you hear that? Isn't that beautiful? You can hear how hard they are. Now, I will tell you, once you do this other recipe too, like I said, I think that the lecithin adds a bunch to it. I really do. I'm going the full 30 minutes is 25 to 30 minutes is also key, but so tasty. I wonder, let's see, they have a nice saltiness on them, in them. They're not overly salty. I can get to the vegetable, but I'm going to be honest, you do taste some flaxseed in here. It is the main flour, so you're going to taste flaxseed. If you don't like flaxseed, this might not be your cup of tea, but I like flaxseed. I like the Crunch Masters. They used, before I was keto, they were a flaxseed cracker. And then I love buying the flackers at the store. That's what inspired me, because I was like, how do they do it? They're whole flax seeds, and somehow they're sprouted, and then they do vinegar and salt, and that's the only ingredient. And I adore the taste of them. So I just started playing with ground flaxseed, and I didn't think to add vinegar. Maybe I will next time. I don't know. And I came up with this, and I'm very, very, very pleased. And I can't wait for you guys to try it. You were waiting, right? You were waiting for me to dip my cracker. I'm a cracker dipper. I'm not a huge cracker breaker upper, depending on the soup, on whether or not I crunch all my crackers up into it or not. But for this intents and purposes, y'all, bon appetit. So darn tasty. These really play well together. Let me see here. I don't know if I did the whole, I know the way the lighting goes, the way it goes, it's hard to see. Even with those little crunchy croutons on top. It totally works. Yum. Pepper. That's what I would say. Oh, yeah. That's good, baby.
Oh, we get to try the crackers, too?
Yeah, my crackers are in the oven. These ones are just around the outer edges. Okay, if you don't like flaxseed, but...
Kind of reminds me of fish.
What?
Flaxseed.
Oh. I like them. Now, I have another...
I don't.
She doesn't like flaxseed, so I had to learn them. Now, I will say this while I talk with my mouth full. The second version of this I'm going to give you cuts the flaxseed way down and ups the lupin. But the trade-off is this. Lupin has a slight bitterness to it. So I'm trying to find the perfect balance between that and that so that I get the smoothest texture, the least bit of kickback. And that's the next little cracker recipe I'm fixing to give y'all. How many minutes are we down to? 3 minutos. Let me move this out of the way. I hope you guys are enjoying today. I hope you're all digging on it. And if you do make these crackers, please Get back with me and let me know what you think. Love parchment paper. It helps save me on dishes. So this just peels and lifts right off. Look at here, y'all. If you pull them out and they still don't seem like a little soft in the middle, you can just pop them back in the oven and let them go. But look how quickly that did. I didn't have to pull them apart. I didn't have to separate any of my crackers, you guys. I'm so pleased with that. Let me put them all around the edge here, even though that's a whole batch. And these ones are a little too thick. I'm going to be honest. That's just almost a little too thick right there in the middle. But it's still crunched down to nice and crunchy balls. Think about being at a party, making a quick batch of these. You know, it takes between 25 30 minutes to bake. It takes about 5 minutes to put together. So in 35 minutes, you could have a batch of crackers ready to go, flavored any way you want to, heading off to your own family gathering, barbecue, party, and you can be like bringing your own crackers for your own dips, and people will be like, what? They are crunchy. And I swear, once they get cold, once they completely cool down, they're like crunch, crunch, crunch. I don't sit around normally eating them hot right out of the oven. But what say you? Yay? Give me some thumbs up. Give me some lovin's. Give me some comments. I want to see them. I'm going to pull this over here. Oh, that's a big old cheesy bite. I was going to pull y'all up here, but I had to have a bite. And I got my bubbly, my Bublé. I think it's funny that they finally got Michael Bublé to do the commercials for bubbly. It was a match from the get-go. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got going on. I love to watch you cook, but I hate not being there to help eat it. Yes, ma'am. I did say I could add some green chili to this too. Yes, I enjoyed it immensely. You're so awesome. Love to watch you cook. Could you use hemp seed? Yes, I suppose you could. I just can't do faux potatoes right now. Timer's done. I'm done. Can't wait to try those crackers. I want to make sure tuna salad tomorrow for supper, so I'll make it in the morning, and those crackers are going to be made to go along with them. Oh, girl, make sure, Tony, that you comment on the video. Come back and comment, or, yeah, you're on YouTube. Let me know. Thanks, guys. Looks amazing. I'm not, Okay. Thumbs up for me. Thanks for sharing. Well, guys, that's it. That's all I got for today. Like I said, I need to come back and I keep pushing it out of the bowl and do another video. We're going to be doing in the upcoming weeks. We're going to do some more casseroles. We've got a boozy keto coming your way. I got to go get some booze though to do it. We're going to do a few educationals on the different gums. So remember, y'all. That's first. Moderate protein, low carb, keep it keto. Bye.